And while they're there, though, there's a great tragedy that happens. We're not exactly sure exactly, but we know that Elimelech and his 2 sons die, leaving Naomi and the daughter-in-laws, Orpah and Ruth, without a husband, all of them. And so we can imagine here what a great tragedy this is for the character of Naomi. Not only has she lost her spouse, which is a horrible thing, it's a great tragedy to lose your spouse, but she has also lost her 2 children. Some of us might know what it's like to lose a child, but we don't know what it's like to lose a spouse. Some of us might know what it's like to lose a spouse, but we don't know what it's like to lose a child. And so Naomi has now lost both of her sons, and she has lost her husband. And taking aside the emotional grief that comes from that, which would have been a lot for Naomi to experience, losing her husband and losing her sons, not only has she lost that, so not only is there the emotional grief from that, but she's also lost her future. Women were dependent upon their husbands in those days. There wasn't like it was nowadays. She needed to have that, and she was going to count on her sons to give her rest as she was entering into her old age. And at this point in her life, it's clear, we don't know her exact age, but we know that she is getting pretty old. It seems to me that she's almost past birth-giving years. Or again, even if she wasn't, though, if by some miracle she was able to conceive, it would be a long time. So not only has she lost her family by losing her husband and by losing her sons, but she's also lost her future. She's lost her security. Everything that she had invested in, investing in her sons, teaching them to be good men who would take care of her in her old age and take care of her husband in her old age, that's now gone. And so she says to Orpah and Ruth, I'm going back to Bethlehem, and you guys just stay here because I've got nothing for you. In fact, don't call me Naomi anymore. Instead, call me Mari, because my name, which means bitterness, because this is a woman in despair. Essentially, at this point, Naomi had considered herself dead, because in all intents and purposes, without a husband, without sons, without any other family, she would be as good as dead. It was very dangerous for women in those days. If they had no protection, if they were to go out into the fields, they could easily be harassed and abused by various men. They could be stolen, robbed, beaten, any number of things. And again, she did not have the same type of security that she had before. So she had basically considered herself dead person walking. It was only a matter of time now. And she says, the Lord has turned against me. I left Bethlehem full, and now I will be returning empty. I've got nothing for you. I have no other sons for you to marry, which was part of the law. Ruth and Orpah would need to marry the next of kin. That's how the law worked according to the Levitical law. So she can't provide them another son. Even if she could somehow provide another son, it would be a long time before you'd be old enough to marry them. So she's got nothing for them. She's basically despairing right now. And so at first, both daughters refuse, but then when Naomi explains this to them, Orpah decides to return back. She returns to her Moabite people, and so it's presumed that she goes and finds a husband, but Ruth doesn't.